Welcome to the channel. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about the Stanley 71.5 router plane. It's one of the many planes in my arsenal that I really go to more often than you would think. It's a simple design with a flat bottom, a small blade, an adjusting nut, and a clamp that holds everything tight. You can see how this thing comes apart. It's actually very, very simple. Just, three moving parts, pretty much. Mine is missing a fence that goes on the bottom. You probably saw those grooves on the bottom. Most of these are missing the fence. One thing I've noticed over time is to keep that threaded shaft somewhat lubricated. I just use a little bit of paste wax so that the adjusting nut spins freely. You can see how freely that one spins, really nice. I also put just a little bit of paste wax on the actual blade because it rubs against that little V groove there. You'll see this just as it rubs up and down. I just put a tiny bit of wax on that just to make that move a little more freely so that when you're adjusting the blade up and down, it's not catching or hanging up in any way. To keep the blade sharp, and like any plane, the key to enjoying the use of this plane and having the plane do a good job for you is sharpness. To keep the blade sharp, usually I work on that top bevel just by holding it, just getting that feel in your hand to hold the proper angle and honing that down. That's just some fine sandpaper glued to a piece of glass. I try to get that top bevel in good shape. It's nice and sharp. And then the bottom bevel, or you could call it maybe a micro bevel, I usually do on a diamond sharpening stone like the one there in the picture. And what I generally do is put the blade in the plane so that the angle that that plane or that blade meets the work is parallel with the bottom of the plane. So I'm just putting a little bit of tape on the bottom of the plane to protect it from the diamond stone and protect the diamond stone from it. And then I lay it down, lower that blade until it is just touching the diamond stone, and take a few strokes with some water on the stone. And then I will maybe finely adjust that down a little bit further. It's such a small bevel that it polishes up pretty fast. So I just give that a few strokes, test it for sharpness, feels good, clean it up, and that's really just about it. Now where these excel is generally in a lap joint. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate a quick lap joint or a half lap joint. You know, you'll clear out a section of wood with many passes on your table saw. This is just such a common joint that you'll do. And you know, you could, after you've done that, break out those pieces and then go get your router and set a router bit to the depth of that giant rabbit, or that giant dado, you could call it, and clean up that surface. But that's a lot of work when you can do it with this cool little plane. And you'll see once you get that kind of scrape clear with your fingers, you just adjust that plane blade to the flat surface, and you can find a spot there in your cutting area there that's flat down to the surface. Tighten that up and plane away. It takes off those little ridges. It takes them off very level. The plane holds the blade to the exact depth of your dado, and you can see how quickly it cleans up. It really cleans up very quickly. You can, you'll still feel a few ridges. You'll see these here, just a few ridges still showing. And so you can take that another micro turn, give it another pass, and you'll end up with a very smooth half lap joint. You've done it all with hand tools, and no noise, no fuss, no router necessary. This cool little plane, the Stanley 71.5. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Thank you.